What's going on, everybody? I am Kevin Britton, host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content right here on Stadium Drive Sports. Hey, Sean, let them know.
Hey, what's going on? You can also catch baseball, the Royals, right over here on the Royal Way on Stadium Drive Sports every Monday and Thursday. And I'm your host, Sean Barr, for that, and we make it a fan experience. Yeah, it's not going to be one of those high-end corporate ESPN shows, of course, but it's going to be given by a fan to a fan in that fan perspective. So I think you'll enjoy it on that aspect. Plus, we've got some prizes to unveil on the show, plus further upcoming episodes, and the prizes only get better, so stay tuned.
Right on. And then, of course, you can catch me and Sean together as we talk Chiefs and Royals all in one sitting. Catch a recorded episode every Friday, or right here live with us, 8 p.m. Central Time every Tuesday, right here. And I'd like to welcome you to the Combo Show. So how's your day going, Sean?
It's going good. A lot better than the weather, I'd say that. It's pretty gloomy out there in Kansas City. It's a cold, rainy day, but I'm sure that it's just soaking up for the trees so it gets hot, because I know it's going to be pretty hot this year, whatever. I'm ready for it. I'm a summer guy. I even like the dog days of summer. My birthday's in August, so I'm ready for it.
Me too. I'll take 100 degrees over 70 any time of the year. I'm perfectly fine by it. We'll be up into I think the mid 70s here in Salt Lake this weekend. So that should pass on and get to you guys early in the week next week. So I would assume sometime Monday, Tuesday, you guys should start to get some nice weather there in Kansas City as well. But we've had some news since the last time that we spoke. So some Chiefs stuff has broke. I'm sure everybody knows by now, but Chiefs signed JuJu Smith-Schuster.
Yes.
He's going to be wearing number 9 from what I hear for the Chiefs. Yeah. So we got ourselves a big body slot that can play on the outside as well. So I'm curious to see if we look in the draft at still taking a receiver, because the way it stands right now, we would have Tyreek as our 1, JuJu as our 2, Hardman is our 3, possibly Gordon as our 4, and then you have Fountain and Powell as possible 5 and 6. I actually like Fountain. I hope he gets a shot this year. But contract-wise, I think we still might make a move in the draft, because JuJu's on a 1-year deal. Gordon's on a 1-year deal. It's the last year of Hardman's deal. We haven't finished re-signing Tyreek yet, so technically speaking, it's the last year on his deal as well. So right now, our receiving room next year would be, it'd be me and you if they wanted to offer us a contract.
Hey, sounds good to me. But I'd want to take one of those bench player seats to where I'm like the 4th string if they have it. I still get paid.
You say that now. I know both of our athleticism and competitiveness, and if you were actually on the roster, you would not be happy if you didn't play. We can be honest here.
Oh, in my younger days. Yeah, in my younger days, I'd be right there as close to the sideline as possible. It'd probably be like a centimeter of grass in between my toe and the sideline saying, "Coach, let me in."
Put me in, Coach.
Yeah, that's
I'm
that
ready
song in my
play.
head too. It's a baseball song, but still talk even with football, it still works.
Some other news: we did re-sign Andrew Wiley, which I like, because Niang may not be ready for the season. Wiley's proven he's able to step in and fill that spot for a limited time. So now we've taken that away from being a pressing need to have to go out and address it. We also signed Garen Christian. He's a swing tackle from Houston, so he can play a little left, little right, and a pinch as well. So we kind of got the depth we needed at tackle. I like to see us accomplish as many things as we can before the draft. That way we don't go in with big needs and have to fill a certain spot. That's what we did when we drafted Braylon Speaks, because we had to get a defensive end, and we saw how that worked out. not even in the league anymore, and he was drafted like 4 years ago. Derek Nottie also re-signed. I like Nottie.
Good.
Great run stopper. So we got Nottie back. We re-signed Chad Henne. I actually just talked in a previous video, probably about a week and a half ago, about how I thought we could bring in a veteran. Well, we brought back a veteran. So Henne's back. Also, but we signed for, I think this is a typical Chiefs move, but we signed wide receiver Corey Coleman. If you remember, he used to play for the Browns. He actually played this last season. Didn't really play, but he was on the Giants roster. So he's that guy that was, highly touted, drafted high, didn't really pan out. We bring him in. He's kind of like, remember we had Tajay Sharp on our roster for a little while. So we like to do this, bring in some of those guys that have been in the league and just didn't quite pan out and see if maybe they can do something here. Mm-hmm. On a bright note in my opinion, and you'll like this as well, Mike Hughes, he signed with Detroit.
Okay, good.
Now back with
That's perfect. He belongs in Detroit.
So, yeah, exactly. Demarcus Robinson is also signed elsewhere, which I'm happy about. He wasn't terrible. I didn't see the contract. It wasn't anything big, but
well, he got signed.
Take him or leave him with Robinson for me. He'd kind of reached the ceiling. He wasn't like really impactful for us anymore, but he is now a Raider. And then
seeing him.
Yeah, Pringle is now with Chicago. So Ryan Poles, who went from the Chiefs organization to become GM over in Chicago, came back to Kansas City and said, "Hey Byron, come on out to Chicago." So a few moves that have happened with some of the now former Kansas City Chiefs, and then we still sit with Matthew in free agency. Yeah. Still no home for the Honey Badger.
Oh, he'll land somewhere, and it'll be nice. But hopefully it's a contender, and he can not on some bum team. He deserves to be on his chance for another ring. So we'll see.
Wild guess. Doesn't matter how accurate it is. Just wild guess. Where's Matthew signed?
I wouldn't be surprised if he signed somewhere like the Colts, somewhere. Because they're still trying. Didn't they sign Matt Ryan not too long ago?
They traded a third-round pick for Matt Ryan. Like, that's great for the Colts.
Yeah, so they're thinking that they're in a window that they can be a good playoff team, and they're not too far off. I'm surprised that they didn't make it last year, but that last game against the Jaguars, gosh, that was just probably the end of Wentz right there that we witnessed. So there might be a rejuvenance in the Colts, and I hate the Colts as a Chiefs fan. I can't stand them. We always seem to find them in the play. Yeah, we always seem to play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, 2 games that I remember against the Colts that did not go in our favor.
No,
and I don't know which one was worse between the two. The play that sticks out to me is that stupid Andrew Luck play.
Yeah,
where the ball just for whatever reason bounced right back to him, and he dove in the end zone. I'm like, we made a perfect play, and you get a touchdown.
That's the same thing that happened with the Titans, too, when I guess Ty Law, he batted it down in the end zone, and it came back, and Marcus Mariota, the quarterback, caught it and ran it in for a touchdown. Same thing. Darn the luck. So where when you bat it down, you kind of want to bat it as down as you can get it.
I say just pick it.
He had.
I know a lot of coaches teach you to bat it down, but
take a knee.
Pick it. Yeah. Just get it in your hands, hold it as tight as you can. That's all that matters. Batting it down leaves too much to chance.
It really does. I mean, you might even just bat it down on your own knee and it goes up. Who knows?
You see all kinds of crazy stuff happen when you try to bat it down.
Reception.
And I mean, offenses adjusted in a very wise way to that as well, where now they run like a Hail Mary. They have one guy in the middle of the group, one behind it, and one in front of it. Like the guy in front's not even planning to try to catch it. He's waiting on that batted ball so he can catch it off that. So
they run the tip. Yeah, they run the tip drill in practice on the defense. So
cue the tip drill Nelly song, please. No, we can't cue that one up. Okay. Thought we were gonna take it back to that late night BET videos right there. You guys got your hopes up, didn't you? So. Moving into draft time, I'm starting to go over options for the draft, round by round on the 12th man Arrowhead Drive. So if you're curious on who the Chiefs could be drafting, make sure you guys tune in to the 12th man so you can be able to see kind of as I talk about round by round the options. But with some of the signings we've had so far, Sean, the way I look at it, we really only have 3 spots that we really need to fill. Mm-hmm. And one of them is running back. So that I wouldn't even – in an Andy Reid offense, that's not even a huge deal. But we only have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Gore, so we definitely need somebody else. But we still need a defensive end. I would prefer 2, but we need at least 1 to play opposite Frank Clark.
Yeah.
With Noddy back, I think we could use a defensive tackle, but I wouldn't say it's a necessity. But Noddy's not much of a pass rusher, so I would like to see a pass rushing defensive tackle. And then we definitely need a corner. Outside of our practice squad guys from last year, we only have 3 corners on the roster. And I know you're distraught that we didn't get Hughes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Mike Hughes can go play with the Lions or whatever and go on try to see if they can double their wins up to what, 2? Well, they went 1 last year. And get to 2 next year. I don't know. I kind of wanted them to win, and they came with some close games. Like they almost beat the Ravens in like early in the year, like week 5, and they lost by 1 point, whatnot.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker kicked a 66-yard field goal.
Insane.
Record. Yeah. They're saying scientifically that is probably the limit right there. Like a human can't kick it. Yeah, right. Keep feeding these kids. They're getting bigger and stronger every day. They're going to kick a 70-yard field goal. Sebastian Janikowski, I think, probably missed one.
I was actually about to say I saw him in
pretty close.
A clip from their practice or warm-ups, one of the 2. I don't remember. He did kick a 70-yard field goal.
There we go. Yeah.
Not in a game. Not in a game. In practice. We're talking about practice?
Yeah, right.
Practice? But, yeah, he kicked a 70-yarder. I kicked a 45-yarder one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would probably miss 9 out of 10 from 10 yards, but I managed to make a 45-yarder one time.
Yeah.
Sign me.
Yeah.
On the Royals note for you, Sean, and I'll let you kind of talk anything you want to talk on the Royals tonight, but I don't know if you saw it yet. I know you've been busy today, but Bobby Witt Jr. blasted a home run today. I'm talking blasted. It went over the concourse, and like people out like on the grassy knoll, if you will, were all just like, there it goes. The pitcher just kind of walked around afterwards looking dumbfounded, like how did he jack that far?
Yeah, if you were really wanting to get a home run there sitting on that grass there, and you kind of pick your spot, whatever, I don't think you would have picked the spot that's on the very back end where, he hit that pretty far. And I'm glad to see that the Royals won that game 5-3 against the Oakland A's. They're still undefeated in the preseason. That runs their record to, 2-0-1. So it's looking good for them. So actually now it's 3-0-1. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
3-0-1. That's their 4th game. So
I'll tell you my only concern is, and you mentioned this in your video, and I can see how we could look at it as a positive, but it actually made me concerned. You talked about how they're resilient, and we've made good comebacks. I think we were down by like 8 at one point in one of the games, but we've done well scoring runs late in the game the last few innings. And I'll tell you why. When I heard that, I was concerned. In spring training, how many innings do your starters usually pitch?
Oh, your starter usually probably goes about, I'd say about 3 or 4 innings.
So you're into the bullpen, and you're starting to pitch some guys that may not even be on your active roster. Yeah. Once the season starts. So my concern is yes, we're hitting well, but we're hitting well against people that are maybe more AAA pitchers than they are major league pitchers. What do you think about that thought process?
It's normal. We've got about 71 players in our atmosphere right now. It's kind of down over the years. We haven't had that many, that least amount of players since about 2015. They're all trying to get a spot, and they know it. It's kind of different than NFL preseason. With NFL preseason, they even cut down a couple games on it. It's really not that big a deal, but it kind of is in baseball because you have more people really trying to make that 40-man roster, and it's going to go from 71 to 40, so that almost cuts in half right there. So this is their time to shine, and there's only about 14, 15 games that they can do this in, so your time to hit the stage and perform is right then and there. So it's good to see them perform well. And we've got a couple people that didn't really perform well, but we've all like Jackson Coar and whatnot. But we have trust in him, and we're going to work it out. He's working out a new curveball and whatnot. He's working on his changeup. He's got a new changeup. He's got things to work on. So, and this is the time to do it. So, it's really cool to see the progression real quick already because Nick Prado's already hit a home run. Now we see this blast from Bobby Witt Jr. So, I mean, we're already seeing it. That's the beauty of it. I mean, usually you'll see these players and, yeah, they'll get a hold of one and hit a double here and there. But for some reason, I'm just thinking that we're going to continue to see this throughout the entire season. Let's go.
Are we, and don't like actually compare player for player, just the scenario, but with somebody like Prado and Witt, are we kind of seeing possibly another Haas and Moose? Again, not to compare player to player, but just the situation.
Well, pretty much like that. It goes in kind of waves like that in eras, and you'll see kind of comparisons between the two. Like I guess Bobby Witt is wearing number 7. And if you remember, Alex Gordon wore number 7 when he started, and then
he played third.
4, and he played third. So he kind of more reminds me of an Alex Gordon right now with some power.
Yeah, and we had the Billy Butler, Alex Gordon kind of combo at that time because they came up pretty much together. And again, they played first and third.
Yeah, but they do seem like a good duo, and they came up at the same time, just like a Haas and Moose. So it's great. It's like the new class of the Royals, and we've got a couple pitchers as well with Asa Lacy, and we've got MJ Melendez as a catcher, and Jackson Coar, like I mentioned. These new names are going to be interesting to see.
So if we're kind of comparing to that World Series team with Haas, Moose, now we have like Prado and Witt. Do we have, and we kind of have an Escobar as well with Mondesi, like very kind of similar in what they provide as well. Do we have a Kane? Do we have a Gordo?
Oh,
I guess Witt is our Gordo, right?
No, Michael Taylor. He shows flashes of power out of nowhere. He's not really built too big. He's got a slender frame, but he'll blast the ball a good 450 feet if he gets a hold of him like a Soler. But I'm glad to see. Let's not talk about Jorge Soler. He got a new contract. He signed with some stupid club, but we're not gonna mention it. Anyways, but yeah, these new guys they're gonna blast this ball out of the ballpark here in Kansas City, and I'm gonna be there to see it. So, but we've always been not a big power hitting team. We've always been a keep the line moving team. The singles here, a double there, and we've shown that we're still that team. And I want to mention this too. You kind of touched on it earlier with the fact that with this resiliency, we did it again. They were up 3-0 before the 6th inning, and then after the 6th inning, it was all Royals at that point, and they scored 5, 2 here, 2 there, and another one there, and we got a win. Pulled one out at the end, and again, we're 3-0-1, still undefeated.
That was kind of the calling card of the World Series team. Both years that we went was that resiliency and being able to come from behind, never being out of it. It's kind of like the Chiefs are now as, a championship caliber team. You're never out of it. And if this team can kind of follow that same kind of mentality into the regular season, like playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs.
They expanded them. They've got another spot for us right there. So it's possible. It's not out of the question, okay? This will be a new team, and quit thinking about what you know about the Royals and maybe even of last year. So it's a new team. It's a new era, new feel. got still a brand new coach with Mike Matheny. We've got a brand new owner. It's going to be a brand new feel out there at the K.
Yeah, we have more youth than I remember us having in, a long time. And I'm talking productive youth. We've always had some young guys, but not with the production or the potential production that we have. When you look at, Mondesi's pretty young. Lopez is pretty young. Prado, Dozier, Bobby Witt, Matthias. I don't know if I'm missing anybody, but those are all young guys that are.
Well, I think you could have just hit select all on all there, and then just taken away Whit Merrifield and Salvador Perez, and then it just leaves kind of like everybody, and it's like
I don't know the age of Taylor.
Oh, Michael Taylor, yeah. He might be a 27 or 28. Him too. He might be a 28, but they're not really old players. They're still pretty young. But they're probably right there in the middle. But like you said, most of them you're gonna find are.
And that goes for our pitching staff too.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, look how young our pitching staff. Oh, hey, how you doing, Zach Grinky? But look how young our pitching staff is.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be the outcast in that group in the pitchers room right there, where whatever. But let me mention something. We were all worried about the bullpen and how they were going to fare this season. They're doing really good. You can't have late inning comebacks without a decent pitching there at the end. Mm-hmm. So they're doing their job. So I'm really surprised at that. They're in Surprise, Arizona.
I heard we have the hardest throwing bullpen.
Do we?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know exact stats, but I guess miles per hour, average amongst all. I guess we have one of, if not the hardest throwing bullpen. So
nice.
I guess we're just going to try to overpower everybody at the end. Sounds familiar. World Series years.
Right.
Same thing we did. I'm not trying to say, hey, the Royals are going to go win the World Series, but I'm saying that this team just holds a lot of similarities to those World Series teams. Now, probably a couple years off, right? If we look at everything we're talking about and look 2 years down the road, we might say this is almost a spitting image of the World Series teams.
Yeah, relock and reload.
Yeah, definitely something to be excited about, no doubt about it. Whether we do or do not make the playoffs this year, I think that there should be excitement starting now, not at the end of the year hey, we only missed the playoffs by 3 games. We're excited for next year. We should be excited now. This team has a lot of excitement to it. Like I said the other day when we were talking, Bobby Witt Jr. feels like Bo Jackson as far as how quickly he's reaching those statuses and having those lures to him. I'm sure at some point we're going to hear that home run he hit today went 730 feet. It's just going to become something ridiculous. But that's how it was with Bo. Bo would hit a 400-foot home run, and they'd be like, Bo Jackson hit a home run. It must have gone 700 feet.
Speaking of which, that's what happened in 1918 with the Boston Braves, I believe. Yeah, Boston Braves. And they had a guy who was their pitcher, and he was a great pitcher. He had shutout after shutout, go complete game, and he was a big guy. And when he's like, come on, I want to hit, like a Zach Greinke type pitcher. I like to hit. And that's the reason why Zach Greinke said, I'm going to the Royals, is because they took the DH. They're implementing a universal DH. But anyways, this guy during spring training, he blasted one that was about 575 feet, and we're with a wooden bat, and we're talking, wow! And he kept doing it, and so finally, the first baseman, he injured his finger, and the coach was like, "Okay, I'm not going to get scrutinized if I throw this guy, this pitcher, and let him hit and play first base." So he did it. His name is Babe Ruth.
Who?
The Great Bambino. It turned out to be a heck of a move there in 1918. So what happened in spring training, the that's the reason. If he wouldn't have hit those home runs and gave him that opportunity, maybe they probably wouldn't have done it until later on in his career. Maybe we would have never have known the greatest hitter of all time back in that time. That's why I say back in that time is because there are eras. Okay, you throw Babe Ruth in right now, and he's probably not going to be that great.
Right.
But then, okay, he was one of the best, so you can't take that away from him. So.
For sure. So Zach Grinky, obviously, you touched on Grinky. He's wanted to come back to the Royals for a few years. The only thing that kept him from coming back was National League. He could hit.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll use him at the plate. I think he gets I'm going to say he gets at least 20 at bats this year. Can
we do that?
Yeah.
We can use him as a DH, like when we're kind of down 15 or up 15. That would be.
He's just a baseball player. He just can't. There's a limit to how many times or how often he can take the mound.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that he can't come in and pinch hit, pinch run, things like that.
Okay, I've never looked into that. That's interesting. And he would be the guy to do it if you were going to do that. I mean, you wouldn't look to use your pitcher at the plate. They make them kind of fools of themselves, just swinging at it like you're left-handed when you're actually right. You're on the opposite side of the plate. That's kind of like what they look like. But next to Shohei Ohtani, I think Zach Greinke, those two guys are probably my favorite guys to watch pitch and hit in the same game. Shohei Ohtani, he is a show. Okay.
Yeah. You want to hear my fun fact for Royals and Zach Greinke? I got one for you.
Sure.
Zach Greinke, his goal has always been to get 10 home runs and 10 stolen bases.
Okay.
That's always been his goal. He's a pitcher, but he wants to get 10 home runs and 10 stolen bases. Right now, do you know how many home runs he has?
In his career?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if I had to take a guess, I'd probably say 8.
9. He's 1 away.
Oh,
will we get him some at-bats? Yes, we will get him some at-bats. Do you know how many stolen bases he has?
Are you going to say 9?
9.
Wow. Yes.
Could we use him as a pinch runner? We could. Or he just gets on base as a hitter. Do you know how many times he's been caught stealing, though?
5.
1. He is 90% on his stolen bases.
Wow.
He is one of the greatest base runners this game has ever seen.
Yeah. I can't imagine Zach Greinke being a fast guy and stealing a base, No. I can't picture it.
Now, I don't think there's a requirement of you having to use a DH. There's obviously not, right? You don't have to use a DH. Pitcher can hit when they're the pitcher.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a DH. So he could just, when he's a pitcher, they could have him hit.
Yeah. But
20. 20 is what he gets at least 20 at-bats this year. And I really hope that turns into 1 home run and 1 stolen base.
I think Zach is going to get what he wants. He's a veteran. He's been in Kansas City. He's going to walk in this place like, yeah, I know this place. And they're going to be like, yeah, I know that guy. So, yeah, you can hit. I think so. But
Why
that's
not?
going to be in those games. I think it's going to be in those games where the game is kind of out of reach or whatever. And we're going to have a few of them. Of course.
Every team will.
Yeah, every team.
Every team will have it where they're up by that much that it doesn't matter. And they'll have games where they're down by that much. Doesn't matter. Every team, no matter how good or bad they are.
Yeah,
it's baseball.
I actually love it when they do that. And the fans kind of get their money back with that. And they've sat there and watched the Royals lose like that. And then in the 9th inning, you get to see Alex Gordon or Adalberto Mondesi on the mound and throwing. You're like, oh, okay, this is awesome.
I love that stuff. It's super entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to crank a home run off of them? Oh, no.
Right.
Alex Gordon has a bad ERA.
Yeah, even that is pretty entertaining right there.
Yeah, I agree. But, yeah, so that's my fun fact for the Royals and for Grinky. He's at 9-9.
Nice.
So they better do what's right by him. Get him some at-bats. Let him get on base. Let him get a home run. Let him get a stolen base. Get his 10-10. But I think he's got a couple years to do it. I don't think he's just, here for his swan song. I think I think he is here to finish out his career, but it's not like, oh, I'll go back there for 1 year for my swan song. Like, think he's got a couple years left in him. So I think I think he could see this team be successful. He didn't really get to see that much his last tenure with the Royals.
No.
I think he could actually see some success.
Yes.
But
I believe so, too. I was wanting to mention this before we go. Kind of switch over to the football side. It's kind of weird, you talking about baseball, and then let me talk about some football real quick. No, but it's not really about on the field stuff. It's kind of asking you, who is one of your favorite commentators, whether it be for ABC, NBC, Fox, or whatever. And Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. Who has it been, if you had to pick one?
I like Collinsworth. I like listening to Collinsworth, and it's what him and Al.
Well,
and Chris, right?
that's the thing.
Well,
Collinsworth has a new partner now.
Yeah.
Now it's Mike Trico. Yeah, after all them years, I'll tell you what, Al Michaels, my favorite guy. He's moving on to another era of his career. He's going to Amazon Prime. Yeah, so you're going to have Amazon to see him. He's going to go to Thursday Night Football now. He was on Monday Night Football for a long time with ABC from 1976 to 2006. And from 86 to 05, he was on the Monday Night Football, remember, with Frank Gifford and Dan Deerdorf. He's also been with Boomer Esiason, Dan Fouts, Dennis Miller, and John Madden.
Oh, the Dennis Miller experience.
Gosh, it was horrible.
It was
it was brutal. Then he went on to Sunday Night Football, and he's been doing that since 2006. And between 06 and 09, he was with John Madden. And after that, ever since 09, about 12 years, he was with Chris Collinsworth. But I figured your favorite was Joe Buck. No, I'm just kidding.
So, fun game for you. You ready?
Yeah.
On three, we're going to say first and last name.
Okay.
On three of our least favorite announcer. Okay?
Okay.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
Joe
Buck.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I think all of Kansas City united with saying that. Leave a comment down below if Joe Buck is also your least favorite commentator, guys. I think we'll get a lot of people agreeing with us, or just let us know who you do or don't like. And I also want to know what people think about Romo. It's very hot or cold. People love Romo or they hate Romo. Let me know what you think about Romo. And also, I'll pose your question back to you. Like, who's your favorite commentator? I know you mentioned Al. Is he your favorite, or is there somebody else you like too?
Well, it depends, because sometimes he's on TV, but most of the time he's on Westwood One. His name is Kevin Harlan. He used to be the Chiefs announcer.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's definitely my favorite. But you won't see him as much. On CBS, on their national games, you have the play-by-play guy, and then you have the lead analysis guy, the color commentator.
Yep.
You also have the rule guy or girl and the sideline reporter. And most of all the sideline reporters are female, except for Tom Rinaldi on Fox. But every one of them is a female. When it comes to the play-by-play and the lead analysis people, the CBS has Jim Nance, and Tony Romo. So you got them two. Tony Romo's good. I like how he's got the player perspective in it, and he can almost kind of call the plays and whatnot. So I appreciate that. I'm getting used to him. I didn't really like him at first, but I'm starting to like him. On Fox, you'll have Steve Levy and then Louis Riddick and Brian Greasy. Not really appealing there. You got the Sunday Night Football with Mike Trico and Chris Collinsworth, and then ABC Monday Night Football, you'll have your Joe Buck and your Troy Aikman.
That's like the worst. I don't like Buck or Aikman. And the fact that they're together at that, there's just nothing enjoyable about that whatsoever. Like that is the muted game. Yeah. That is the game that I absolutely watch on mute.
And it's supposed to be one of the best ones, being Sunday Night Football, because we know Monday Night Football has been changing over the years and whatnot. It's just not the same as it used to be. And then Thursday Night Football had a chance because but the games got bad. The matchups were horrible. Now it's on Amazon Prime. And now you got Al Michaels, who just turned 77, so this is probably his last contract. And they got Kirk Herbstreit, who usually does the college games. He's still doing college game day, and he still has 2 years on his contract there with ESPN. The NFL Network. It's to be determined right now. It's kind of doing their own thing with their own people. We don't really get to know about that stuff. And who listens to ESPN radio? Those are for the weekly games that maybe if you're out in the country and you don't have anything local, you'll turn them on. But you always got. I like Westwood One. They're there for everything. They've got every single game. They do it all from the Monday, Sunday playoffs, Super Bowl, and you'll find Kevin Harlan there with Kurt Warner. So I'm an old guy. I like the radio sometimes. I am not going to lie. During the Royals run of number 14 and 15, I'd go out and I sat in my car and I turned on the radio so I could hear Danny Matthews' voice during these times. I was that intrigued by just hearing different aspects of the experience. So, yeah.
I like Danny. Danny's a good one.
Yes.
I used to, when I was in Kansas City and I could, very easily get to a channel with Mitch Holtis. A lot of the times, like majority of the times, I would absolutely mute the TV, turn on the radio, and have Mitch.
I totally recommend that to all Chiefs fans. If you haven't quite figured out that, I mean, it makes it a whole lot better. It's actually pretty close on the timing because he has a couple seconds to actually analyze the play and relay it to you, and the TV is on a couple second delay due to live restrictions or whatever in case Janet Jackson pops out a tube at 65. But it kind of matches up perfect to where you can turn on the radio and turn that up loud and turn down Iron Eagle.
Your fave? Do you like Iron Eagle?
Gosh, he's a good. He does a job well, but his voice is just so annoying.
100% agree. Yeah. Absolutely. As soon as I hear him, I'm like, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. Yeah. But perfect. Do you have anything else you needed to touch on tonight before we call it a wrap, Sean?
No. I just want to say go Royals undefeated. Just want to throw that out there, and I'll keep you updated on all these preseason games that are coming our way. I'll try to get a review every Thursday and Monday. So if you want to hear about some baseball, it's going on. The season is about to begin.
Absolutely. And then if you guys want to keep up on the Chiefs, draft is about a month away. So we'll be having a lot of draft coverage and everything. We'll be doing that on the 12th man at Arrowhead Drive every Sunday and Wednesday. And then, of course, the Combo Show where we can talk Chiefs and Royals every Friday and then live every Tuesday. So, yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Been a blast. Till next time.